Oh, hold on. There we go. What is going on, everybody? For those of you that don't know who I am Where's My 7/16? I'm a former automotive technician. Did like 12 years, probably 13. Let's go 13. Uh, Doing everything from working at a local Firestone to uh, working on classic cars. Tonight we're going to be doing something a little different. Normally we would just get into games and kind of go from there. But tonight we are going to do some automotive news and talk about just cars in general. Let's make sure that this went out. I'm not sure that it did. All right. So let's just make sure that this went out for Trovo. Am I not live on Trovo? I must not be. That's weird. Hmm. All right. Well, take a real close look. Yeah, I should be live on Trovo, but we'll see. All right. So first up, probably one of the biggest things to come out, and this actually just dropped not too long ago. New Jersey is getting rid of. They're going to be banning the sale of internal combustion cars, and I think that might actually be before California. I think California's 2030. Let's take a look real quick because I can't remember. Oh no, 2035. Okay, I was wrong. Could have swore that that was for 2030. 2027 regulations gradually increasing. 100% emissions. I don't know. I don't really know that all this is all this EV stuff is really going to go all that well. Uh, Especially since like states like California already can't provide enough electricity. They're telling people uh, they gotta have rolling. They gotta shut their power off. They can't do this. Can't do that. Uh, I don't know that they're really going to be able to do that. I think it's going to cause a lot of problems. I think if anything, they're going to have to go to a more of a hybrid, which we're going to get on that a little bit later. Yeah. I just don't see that working out really well for them. I gotta bring that up too. Okay. All right. And then probably the next biggest thing out of all the news that I've seen so far is this right here. And we really, really need to get on top of this. Uh, the fact that BMW is still doing this, that you have to, they put all of your heated seat parts in the car. Everything's there, but to access it, to use it, you have to pay a subscription. So you have everything there, but it's locked through software in the vehicle that you can't access it. I'm sure, like, if you wanted to go and hack up your brand new car, you could, hook it to a switch. You could do something to get that power there and activate it. But I think this is just a really, really terrible idea. And it looks like they're only offering it on the Tesla Y. I don't see that this is a really, really good idea. Uh, we're just gonna end up in a thing like we have now with all these streaming services. If you want heated seats, it's a subscription. If you want blind spot, which I already think blind spot's rather dumb, uh, you're gonna have to have a subscription. You want your backup camera subscription. And the more that people buy these and don't, tell them that it's a stupid idea by not buying it, the more we're going to get this. And it's just not the right way. Especially since they're already putting it into the vehicle. If it was something where they were just going to make it standard and increase the price a little bit, sure, why not? It's standard. You're already putting it in the vehicle. But to include all the parts for it, and then, oh, well, you know what? You can't have it. You got to give us. Did they even say how much? I think BMW's is like $300 or so for 6 months or whatever. But it's just not a good look for manufacturers to be doing it that way. Really terrible idea. And now, on to one of the more sadder things. A show that I used to watch all the time, Top Gear, particularly the British version. I didn't really like the American one all that much. British Top Gear they've killed it. It's a shame. I remember watching this growing up. Watching, Jeremy Clarkson and James May and the hamster. Uh, it's sad to see that, they're canceling it. But I really wasn't the same since May and everybody else, Clarkson, left. It just really hasn't been all that great. The Grand Tour was pretty good. But shame to see them kill that. 33 seasons. And now it's gone. Yeah, just a shame. Hopefully that gets replaced with something, because that was a that was a good show. I think they need to find their hosts. I never really liked all the hosts that they had since Clarkson and all them left. But it is what it is. All right. One of the cars that I'm pretty excited about. I'm kind of waiting for this to come out. If they come out with a new Prelude, especially if it looks anything like this, hopefully we don't get like a bait and switch like they did with the Supra. The Supra was a letdown, a huge letdown. I was really sad about that one. Because that concept looks so good, and then the car comes back and gets put into production, and it's just completely not the same car. But it's a good looking car. And if they go around with the same way that they were doing with the original Prelude, that had a lot of cool stuff. Original Prelude had the I think it had rear steering. Had a whole bunch of cool stuff. Had a good motor in it. The H22, when they killed it, was a really good motor. One of my buddies has one of those. Can't remember what year it is, but it was before the H22 motor. I'm not sure that he has the engine back together yet. Last I knew, he was still working on it. I think it's at the machine shop, but turbo car. When they killed it, that car looked really good, and it almost looks like it might share a bunch of the panels and some other stuff. No, not share a bunch of the panels, but it takes a lot of its styling cues, like they say here from the 86 and the BRZ. It does really seem to look like that. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this, if they do anything with it. But I think that if they released something similar to this, it'd be a hit. Just a good looking car. All right. Now we're going to get into with the Ram 2500 or the Ram 1500 and a whole bunch of stuff with them. They're killing the V8, putting in a straight 6 turbocharged engine. I'm kind of a little bit uneasy about them doing this. If any of you guys have seen some of my TikToks recently, I talk about this. I got into a little bit of a TikTok spat with somebody. So it's no longer Fiat Chrysler, it's Stellantis. They've added Peugeot as another one of the manufacturers. Yeah, this engine was in the works before that, but Peugeot not really known for their reliability. Neither is Fiat or Chrysler. And the fact that they worked on this with Fiat doesn't really give me a whole lot of promise that it's going to be reliable. It makes a lot of power, but with these Rams already not selling well, the 1500, the 2500, I think the 3500, and a bunch of other Fiat Chrysler, well, Stellantis vehicles not selling well, I think the Ram trucks alone are the slowest selling trucks out of any of the manufacturers, even like the Hyundai and the Honda truck. I really, really hope that they hit it out of the park with this, because otherwise it could get ugly. Not particularly a good thing. And along with them changing this out, obviously with them doing this, they're killing the T-Rex, which that's a badass truck, a really badass truck. And they're turning that into a something to compete with the Ford Lightning. And that one, they're taking a bit of a different approach with it. So what they're doing is they're doing the Ram Charger. They're bringing that back. Well, the name back. Dual motor. They have a 3.6 liter V6. That is interesting. Now, the thing that I like about this. Hey, Jack of all trades. How's it going, dude? I'm doing good. How you been? So the interesting thing with this truck is this 3.6 liter that's in it doesn't do anything besides keep the batteries charged, which is something that the trains and the locomotive industry does already. GE makes a train that's diesel and electric, and I don't think the diesel motor drives anything in that. Or actually, no, I think that's just your... I'd have to look. I could be wrong on that. Yeah. It's been a hot minute. How have you been? Have you been playing the new COD? So the interesting thing with this is that 3.6 liter doesn't do anything. It just charges the batteries, which I love. I think honestly, like if they were really serious about the hybrid vehicles, which I think if this thing does well, which we'll get into that in a minute, I don't know why they haven't done this yet. The fact that this truck doesn't do anything from the engine, just charges those up. You get all the range in the world. You get the best of everything. You get the range along with the incredible power and towing that you get from electric. But you don't have to worry about, having only 300 miles of range, or as it's been going with some of the trucks, you just don't have a whole lot of range. You get like maybe 200 miles. This could be huge. The one thing that I'll knock against it is the price. I want to say it's like $120,000. Yeah, I've been grinding camo like crazy. Awesome. Some of those new camos in MW3 are nuts. I think honestly that has some of the better camos, because I didn't really like the ones last year. I'm not sure that it says. Mountain towing. Yeah, I don't think that they mention it here, but I want to say it's like $120,000 for this. And it's nice to see that they're actually liquid cooling the battery. The one knock that I have on some of the other electric cars coming out, particularly from Nissan, is Nissan for some reason is the only one out there that doesn't offer a liquid cooled, or actually I should probably not even put it liquid cooled, but a uh, temperature managed battery. For some reason, they've decided to just, seal up the battery pack and just go from there. And it only gives them in that Nissan Leaf like 150, I think 150 miles or so. Everybody else manages the battery's temperature. They cool it, and they heat it up in the winter, which you lose a little bit of range from that, but you get a longer lasting battery. On top of that, you get a little bit more range out of it from keeping it at a stable temperature. The zombie ones are unreal. Yeah, they are. That I haven't bought the game yet because I've been kind of reluctant on it. Um, the zombies mode is definitely the one that I'm the most interested in because I kind of got rid of, not got rid of, fell out of playing COD a little bit. Um, it'll be interesting. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit, see how the updates go, and then go from there. Uh, so where were we? Oh, the batteries. The one, the one thing that I think is gonna be a big question beyond that is why they went with the 3.6 liter. Um, because they went with the 3.6 liter over something like maybe a 4 cylinder or even a diesel. I'm really wondering why they didn't throw diesel in there. I know the eco diesel was, horrible. I don't know why they just don't bring another diesel over. I'm not sure if Cummins still makes the V8 5 liter diesel, but I know Nissan's not using it anymore. Well, why not throw that in there and do the same thing? And you'd get even more range out of it. It's a really, really good idea. I just don't know how everybody's going to feel about the price. I mean, you're going to have people out there that are going to buy it regardless. But 120,000 is going to be a bit much for a lot of people. How's COD treating you though? Is it treating you good? Right. Let's see what we got here. Nice, dude. Good to hear. Really good to hear. is all right. And then probably the last bit of news that we're going to get to is Honda's got a new recall, which kind of worries me a little bit. Honda has, in the past couple years, for some reason or another, dropped in quality, which is really, really hard to see because they're just known for being amazing cars. I've seen vehicles come in with after another shop doing an oil change, and the drain plug came out on the highway, and drive it into the lift. Still runs. Fill it full of oil. Put a drain plug in it. New filter, and that car's still on the road. I know a couple years ago when they came out with the redesigned Honda Civic and everything, they had issues with having to do a stop sale for, I think it was engine pistons. Not sure what else, but I know I've heard a couple other things from them. And now they've got premature connecting rod failure, which looks like it's just on the 16 to 22 Acura, MDX, the TLX, 18 to 19 Odyssey, the Pilot, and the Ridgeline. It's pretty relatively small amount of cars. But if we go over here and we pull up the actual recall, it looks like what they're doing, manufacturing error, may wear sees damage the engine. Looks like they're not replacing the bearings or anything like that. Well, it doesn't say that they're not repairing. They're not repairing the bearings, but they may replace the engine. It'll be interesting to see what the actual fix is for this, because I'm not sure that this is out yet. Yeah, January 2nd. So we've got a few weeks before they actually notify people. It'll be interesting to see what their fix is, because there was a similar one, not with Honda, with Hyundai and Kia. I think it was the Optima and it was the Optima and one of the other vehicles. I can't remember what though, but they would stick a microphone down the dipstick tube. And while doing that, they're listening for a certain sound. And some of these cars I've had come in, and it just sounds like, the engine's ready to let go. But from what I've heard from other technicians that I'm friends with that have worked in that line of work, in Hyundai, Kia, and have done those recalls and repairs and everything, there's a lot of them where you stick the microphone down there and you think, oh, this one's going to be okay. And you just, you get the test done and it needs an engine. And Hyundai and Kia were replacing those engines for quite a while. I think they, want to say that they've done some of the engines upwards of like 300,000, 250,000 miles, which is pretty amazing that they were going to go that long and take it. Because I mean, 200 to 300,000 miles is really standing behind your stuff, especially for something like that. Like, I don't know how you can really consider that premature bearing failure when the engine's got that many miles on it. But good for them for like standing behind their product. It really says a lot. I've honestly been kind of happy with the way that Kia and Hyundai have been doing some of their stuff. It's been pretty good to see them standing behind stuff when you have a lot of these other companies, like GM with the ignition switch recall way back, uh, the Ford truck. I think it was the Super Duty that had a an excessive sparking seatbelt tensioner, and their fix was not to, replace the seatbelt tensioners, but to replace or cut some of the carpet so the tensioner couldn't catch the truck on fire. Which I think that's a rather bad way about going about things. Let's not solve the actual problem and just cause the just cut out, the thing that it's catching on fire the most. I just a lot of the stuff that some of these manufacturers do to get around these recalls and that I'm just not a fan of. All right, so where are we at time wise? Let's see. I gotta add some stuff. Going through all this news and everything. I gotta add like a timer or something before we swap, so that way I know when to swap over. But it is what it is. All right. Let's see if Jay is ready. Actually, I gotta see. Oh, yeah. We've been live for about 35. Hey, I said I was gonna set out to, do some more content, some other stuff, and do a half hour, and look at that, I did a half hour. Almost exactly. We're a little bit over, but oh well. All right, let me see if I can get Jay on here. Jack, have you played any of the other games? Like EFT, um, uh, not EFT, uh, Marauders. There's the game that we're gonna be playing tonight is Marauders. I don't know if you've played that at all. No, it didn't change that. That's frustrating. All right, let's make it change real quick. All right. Let me see if I can get Jay on here. If not, we're still going to swap over. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to try to fix this other stream real quick. Be